everybody, welcome back. Today I want to talk about my Chanel Jumbo, which is this bag right here. I'm going to split this video into two parts. So the first part, I'm going to focus on the wear and tear of this bag. I've had this bag, it's coming up to about 4 years right now, so there is some wear on this bag. And the second part of the video, I'm going to focus on my experience about buying this bag up to the point that I own it right now, because I have a love-hate relationship with it. And hopefully the second part of the video will be helpful for you if you're thinking about buying this bag but you're not sure about what material to take or what hardware to go for or what size. So hopefully you like this video and yeah, keep watching. So let me introduce my bag first. My Chanel Jumbo comes with the caviar leather and it comes with silver hardware. I bought this bag in 2013 January, so it's now October, so it's coming up to its 4th year. When I first got this bag, it was like my dream come true because I never thought I would ever get a Chanel bag. And so I was using this bag so much when I first got it. I tried my best to baby it, but I couldn't really because I was traveling so much. You know, this bag has gone under the seat of an airplane, it's gone through the conveyor belts, like, oh, I hate that, but no choice, security checks. But in the past couple of years, I've been buying other handbags as well, so I have been rotating my handbags a little bit more. So this bag, I would say, has been in rotation with my other handbags. I would use this bag for an entire week, switch it out to other bags. So it's been getting used. I mean, it's not like it's in storage for months. It's definitely used. Sometimes I would just take it out for a weekend and just use it for a couple of days and then swap it out, and I'll use it for work for 2 weeks straight. So, I mean, this is a bag that I do use. In terms of wear and tear, I would say that this bag is a tank. Because I travel for work, and when I do travel with this bag, it doesn't get babied. There is hardly any wear on the bag. The caviar leather is so hardy. Size of the bag, there is no scuffs. There are some minor ones because I do, you know, swing it a little bit. Just one at the side here. There's just one, you know, just a little bit of scuffing at the side. The most wear that I see on this bag is actually on the turn lock, and this is actually my fault. I kind of scrape the bag against the wall a little bit, and so there is quite a bit of scratches on the turn lock right there, but you know, in terms of the rest of it, there isn't much wear. The inner lock as well, where the words Chanel and Paris are, there is some scratches, and that's bound to happen because you're always going to open and close the turn lock. As for the inner side, sorry, my bag's really full right now because I have been using it the past 2 weeks. There is some wear on the inside, and I will show you that in a clip. You know, there are slight marks and scratches, but it's nothing that I would be worried about. And you know, that's bound to happen because you've got things inside, you've got keys, you've got coins. As for the chain and as for the hardware, it's still really, really shiny. And can you hear that? It's still squeaky, and it's still squeaky after 4 years. When I first got it, it was a little bit annoying because it was like on your shoulders, and actually I've gotten used to it. In fact, I'm like, oh, it's still squeaky. I'm so happy. I'm hoping that the sound goes away maybe in the 8th year of this bag. The other part of the bag which has quite a bit of scratches would be the loops, the circles where the chain goes through, and you know, that's bound to happen because your chain's gonna be moving up and down, but it's not obvious unless I look at the bag and I see those light scratches. As for the leather inside, it is definitely softer over time because you're always gonna open and close the bag. And the inner pocket, I don't really use it much. I'm using it right now just to put an envelope there, but I don't put very big things in there because I don't want to stretch the material. As for the back pocket, I do take care of it. I don't put very bulky things inside. If my handphones don't have the cover, so it's really slim, I might slip it in there, but I do try not to use this back pocket. I don't want to stretch it out. As for the overall shape of the bag, as you can see, my bag is still in its original shape. It hasn't gone out of shape or anything. Slightly losing its shape, just a little bit, but nothing that I would be worried about. As for the bottom bit, if you look from the front, it's not sagging at all. And I really packed this bag. I'm just going to insert a clip to show you what I've got inside this bag. And these are the things that I've been carrying every single day for the past 2 weeks. So the bag can fit a lot. sides of the flap, I am fairly careful. I don't pull up when I open the bag. So when I open the bag, I actually lift from the turn lock here. I don't lift from the side. If I did that, this is gonna be out of shape. It is coming out a bit because there are sometimes I forget and I just lift it from the side. You know, I think I tend to open the bag from the back. So there is this one flap that is slightly more kind of curved out compared to this side on the front. But I am careful when I open the lock, I just lift from the front. I will use my whole arm and open the bag like this. And finally for the quilting, the puffiness, I would say the puffiness on the front right here, this part, is the most puffy. But I do see some puffs being kind of like deflated. I don't think it's as obvious on the caviar as compared to the lambskin, because the caviar kind of like, you know, hides, it has an illusion that it doesn't have a dent inside. But if I just run my hands over the bag, I would say the puffiness on the top right here and a little bit on the back pocket, just a little bit, has gone down a little bit. It's not as puffy compared to the ones at the front, right? Yeah, at the bottom here. No, these are so puffy compared to the ones at the top. And I know why that's happening, because when I carry the bag on my shoulders, my forearm would rest on the bag right here, and because of that, it is gonna be, you know, squished more here. And also when I pick up this bag, I always tend to hold it with my hand like this to lift up the bag, you know, just like, you know, when I'm holding the bag and I'm putting it on the table, this is the part that I would grab. So I would say the puffiness of the bag at the top part of the flap is the most, if you want to say, deflated, but it's still puffy, you know. It's, of course, if you compare it to the rest of the bag, it is flatter. Overall, in almost 4 years of using this bag, I would say that this bag is holding up extremely well. And maybe it's because it's caviar leather. Any kind of scratches or, you know, dents is really, really hard to see. It's still super shiny, and I do not use any leather conditioner on this bag. I just give it a wipe with a microfiber cloth. Sometimes I use a baby wipe with no alcohol just to give it a quick buff, but I take a dry microfiber cloth and wipe that water straight away. It's mainly just to get off any oil, you know, from your hands, and that's what I do every time I want to put the bag back into storage. So now I just want to talk and share with you why I picked this bag and kind of share my experience about owning and using this bag for the past few years. So this Chanel Jumbo is my first ever Chanel bag. And let me tell you, getting this Chanel bag was like a big milestone in my life. I know that sounds a little bit dramatic, but it is an expensive bag, and it's not something that I just say, okay, I'm just going out and buy, because it's a huge commitment. So picking which bag to get was a big deal, but because it was my first Chanel bag, I know I wanted the classic bag. I wasn't really familiar with the seasonal pieces at that time, and I felt that I wanted something everlasting, something that could, you know, stand the test of time. So definitely a classic bag was what I wanted. So the first thing that was going through my mind, which size to get? So this Chanel Jumbo, when I got it, it was 17,000 ringgit. And then the size down, which is the medium large, I think that was about 16,800. So the difference wasn't a lot. So when it came to the price, that kind of influenced the size that I was gonna buy, because when you look at the two bags, you're like, oh, you're getting a bigger bag for only a little bit more. That definitely pushed me to get the jumbo. Price being only a little bit different, I was at that point going to say, get the bigger bag. Now that I've done with the size, okay, so which material to pick? Lambskin or caviar leather? And like I said, my first bag, I went for the safer option and I picked caviar leather. So this decision of mine, you know, there are days that I'm like, oh, if only I wish I picked the lambskin. I'll talk about that later. But when I picked it, I knew I wanted my bag in caviar leather because it's hardy. As I said earlier in the wear and tear part, this bag is in freaking good condition. Then I had to pick the color of the bag. So it was either the black or the beige. And really the beige, when you look at it, it is beautiful. But I knew that I wanted my first ever Chanel bag, plus because it's so expensive, I wanted to go for the safer option, which is black. So if you ask me right now if that's still the right decision I made, and I'll tell you I still made the right decision. Black is the way to go for me, considering many factors. One, the way I travel so much, and this bag, if it was a lighter color, it would be black by now. And black is definitely a color that matches everything. I don't have to worry about will my dark blue jeans color transfer on it, or will it match, you know, my purple top? Does it match my brown? Do I look too pale? You know, I don't have to worry about that because black is so universal. Now the final decision I had to make was the hardware. So whether I wanted to go for silver or gold. As you can see, the gold hardware on the classics is this, I would say, a very yellow gold. So it's really shiny, it's really yellow. I wear both kind of accessories. I wear gold, I wear silver, and I mix it up. I'm not too particular whether, you know, I only have to wear silver or I have to wear gold. But for my bag, maybe because there was so much more of the gold, and I found it, to be honest, and I'm not, you know, if you got a gold bag and you rock it, go ahead. But for me, I found it a little bit garish. If you look at the way I wear, I'm pretty casual, and I wear jeans, I wear just t-shirts, and then until now I still wear the same. And for my work, I'm pretty plain as well, black, blue, grey, and all that. So I found that the gold, for me, it was a little bit more loud. I find that the silver is a little bit more understated. Gold makes the bag more dressy, so for the smaller bag, I do like it in the gold. So those were the decisions I made, you know, picking the size, jumbo. Hardware, I wanted something understated, a little bit more that I could wear with almost everything. And then the color, I wanted something universal. And then finally, the leather, something that would be like a tank. When I got this bag, I used it so much. But, you know, at the store, your eyes are just, you know, full of stars getting the bag. I didn't really realize how heavy the bag would be once I had it stuffed. And, you know, for the first few months of using it, you know, I was just blinded by the love of the bag. So that was kind of like my love-hate relationship with it. I wanted to use it more and more, but every time I used it, I found that it was really digging into my shoulders. I felt that, oh gosh, the bag is so heavy. No matter how, you know, few things I put inside, I found that the bag was weighing down my shoulders. I started to change out my bag a little bit. So I would say I was using the bag for 6 months straight, and then I started to be like, oh, I think I need to use a different bag, you know, and then I started to put it into storage and then ding that. So I would say in the second year of owning this bag, I kind of fell out of love with this bag. The weight of it was something that I didn't consider. Caviar leather is heavy. So if you are not into heavy bags, or you know that you're not going to carry heavy bags, you got to really think twice about getting a jumbo in caviar leather. And if you're going to carry lots of things, it is a heavy bag. The chain itself is also heavy. So everything about it makes this bag pretty substantial. You know, you can look at my biceps. They're working hard. So a weight was something that I didn't consider in the shop. You know, when I went in there, I was just like, I want a bag that's gonna last me forever. It's gonna work like a horse. It's not gonna get damaged. And they gave me this tank, you know, without much things inside. You know, when you first wear it, you know, oh, okay, it's not too bad. Yeah, yes, it's okay. It's good. Yeah, buy it. But when you use it for hours straight, whoa, that's heavy. At first I couldn't figure it out. You know, I thought maybe I had too many things inside, but all I had was my wallet, my 2 phones, maybe a card holder, some tissue, and that was it. I was trying to downsize so much just to make sure I could use this bag. So I felt that I was changing my lifestyle to fit this bag. So in the second year, I kind of really fell out of love with it. I wanted to use it less. I wanted to use my other bags because they were so much lighter, and I went through this phase of carrying really light bags. So anytime I went into shops and I felt the bag was heavy, I had a moment, oh, like my caviar, you know, like my jumbo is too heavy, I can't take it. I went through a phase of only getting really light bags that I could crossbody, because I also felt deceived by the fact that you could crossbody this bag, because to be honest, carrying this bag crossbody is a no-no. It is not comfortable at all. It digs into my shoulders. This thing swings like a pendulum if you're wearing it crossbody. For me especially, I can't. A couple of chains digging into your collarbone right here, and the bag's like 50 kilos at your hip. So in the last 2 years, I would dare to say I almost had a hate relationship to the bag. I loved it because, you know, it's my first ever Chanel bag. It will always mean something to me. But at the same time, I was thinking, well, maybe I should have gotten the medium large, you know, then it wouldn't be so heavy. Maybe I should have gotten, you know, the lambskin because it would be much lighter. I started feeling a little bit of regret because I felt that I should have gotten a different bag. But this year, I don't know what happened. Maybe I'm stronger. I feel that this bag is now okay. Even with all the things inside, it is heavy, but I don't know. I can carry this bag the whole day right now. I'm back in love with the bag. I feel that I can take it. I'm back to where I started when I first bought the bag. Picking this material and picking this size because my gosh, I've got a lot of things to carry and I can't imagine putting all those things inside a medium large. I'm back again, glad I got the jumbo. This bag is putting me through a lot of mental stress. So this is what I think, and maybe it will help you as well. So when I first got the bag, I didn't know that it's gonna be a heavy bag. I didn't know that caviar leather is heavy. I didn't know that the chains can feel, it like it's digging into your shoulders. So when I got the bag and I started to use it, it was a little bit unexpected. Like, oh my god, it is such a heavy bag. And I was like, oh, it's so uncomfortable. That is something that you've got to take into consideration when you first go into the store and try it out. If you know that you're not going to carry a lot of things and that's the way you are, then I would say don't pick the jumbo, because the jumbo will come with those other factors, heavy, bulky, etc. So I would say pick the smaller one because it does fit a lot of things as well. But if you know you're gonna put things, you're gonna put even a roll-up scarf inside, you're gonna, anything that's gonna be a little bit bulkier, and you're okay with the weight, you gotta accept that, then seriously, the jumbo is the way to go. I don't know about the maxi. I have seen it and I feel that looks really big. A lot of YouTubers says, yeah, it's such a great bag. But when you're at the store, you don't really know that. You pick up the bag, you just try, oh yeah, it's great, wow, it's okay, you don't feel it. But when you really put the bag to work and you use it like the way you want to use it, it can get pretty heavy. So if you're thinking about getting your first Chanel bag and you're not really sure medium or the jumbo or what kind of materials, the most important thing is to really think about what you need to use the bag for. And that was something that when I bought it, I just wanted the bag. I wanted one that could be universal, everlasting and all, but I didn't really consider what I would use the bag for at the time. I just knew, I wanted to match everything. But in terms of usage, whether I was going to put things inside or not, it wasn't a key factor at that point in time. Jumbo fits what I need to put in my bag. And if I picked lambskin and the smaller bag, I would have been in a totally different position right now, because I'll be like, oh, if only I picked the bigger bag, I'll be okay with the weight. If I only picked caviar leather, because caviar leather is so much more hardy. So I'm so glad that the person 4 years ago made the right decision, even though it wasn't a full view of what the bag could do for me right now. But I had to go through the whole was my decision right? Did I make the right decision? And my advice is, because it's such an expensive bag, really think about what you're going to use the bag for. Think about that. And once you know that, you've got to accept that if you pick the bigger one, it's going to be heavy. If you pick the smaller one, you've got to be sure that's all you need to use it for. And if you're going to pick lambskin, but the bigger one, you gotta be more careful and you gotta baby the bag a little bit more, because I'm pretty sure lambskin will not work like a tank like caviar. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully my sharing has helped you maybe answer some of the questions that you might have if you're thinking about buying this bag. So everybody, you guys take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!